What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, this time around with a special vlog. It's competition weekend. The German Open is just around the corner, takes place tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. And today is Friday, so today we're getting ready, packing all the stuff, traveling to the location. And yeah, just wanted to give you some insights what is going to happen during the competition weekend from my perspective as a coach, since you probably get a lot of insights from the athlete perspective, from all the athletes competing there, but I wanted to give you my perspective as well, taking care of my athletes and so on. So today morning I already started off with some check-ins, and then I had a live call with some of my clients. We offer 2 to 3 live calls per week where every client can opt in, and where we talk about the technical side of things, programming, rehab, nutrition, and all of those things, whether our athletes need some additional support, have questions, or just need more personal interaction. That's the time and place where they can get access to us as coaches and where we can build a better relationship, because as you might know, in an online coaching relationship it's always hard to get hands-on with a person, and that's why we've implemented those weekly live calls, to have a better bond with our athletes, to improve the relationship and to be able to communicate certain things in an easier way, simply because sometimes it's really hard to put certain things into cues or a video, and sometimes you need to ask the person the right questions and the client needs to give you the right inputs, so you know exactly where that person is, so you can give that person the right tools at the right time, so you can really drive some progress and make some long-lasting changes. So yeah, live call as always was a success, plenty of people in there, overshot on time again. Now we're quite busy because I still have to do some groceries, get my training session in, and then pack all the stuff. And I'd say we don't spend even longer talking into the camera, and we'll get started. Not sure how much I'm gonna film throughout today, but I'm pretty sure I will film a lot throughout the weekend. Please excuse me if there are some random clips thrown in here and there, if there's no proper storyline. I haven't planned anything yet, so I'm just gonna record and hold the camera on it and see how things are going. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked and hyped for this weekend. Pretty sure my athletes will do well on competition day, and overall, yeah, just happy to be part of the German Open again. Just wrapped up my training and now we're eating lunch as usual. Lunch doesn't change. Obviously we have a ton of sriracha for our first rice meal of the day. As usual, it consists of just give me a second, bit of rice, chicken, and some zucchini. That's the same meal that I eat like 5 to 7 times per week. I'm not getting tired of it. I really love the taste, and yeah, as long as you can eat the same over and over again, might not be ideal, especially as you want to get a little bit of variability into your diet. So that's why I changed my meal plan a little bit the last couple of weeks, since I've been repeating the same meals over and over again. And especially when it comes to nutrients, especially vitamins and minerals, it's important that we have a wide variety of food and we don't solely stick to the same products all the time. Obviously it makes things a lot easier, but on the health side of things, having a lot more products to choose from is definitely the better option. Now we just enjoy the meal, then we go out for some groceries. So we have everything in place for the competition, because we will stay at the hotel and So tomorrow and Sunday we will spend most of the day at the location of the German Open, so there won't be much time to get out, have some food and stuff. So I'm gonna buy some stuff beforehand, prepare that and bring it with me, so I don't have to opt for bad options, because as you probably know, when you're on the road you're more likely to make bad choices. But if you have a plan, well, there is something you have to eat and there is less guesswork. So you probably opt for a better option if you prepare the things ahead instead of taking things too intuitively. We are ready to take off. We're now heading to Halle, Saale, Germany for final wrap. We just arrived in Halle and now we're waiting for Misha and Matthew until they arrive so we can set up the booth for tomorrow's event. And just chilling here with Anna. Oh, that's the wrong side. Over here she is. And just waiting, enjoying the sun, enjoying the good weather. Good morning. It's competition day, Saturday, and it's 6:50 a.m. About to get some breakfast, and then we're heading to the competition location, since in an hour my first athlete is competing. And getting ready, drinking a Monster, and then things should get wild. So we're done with muscle ups. Obviously, always can be better, but I'm pretty happy with the 25 kg Lucas did in his second attempt. The 27.5 were slightly too heavy today, but we will get them next time for sure. So I'm recording this now a couple of days later since the comp got quite busy and I didn't have the time anymore to talk into the camera as I had to set priorities, and my athletes obviously were the number one priority, and I couldn't manage to film, talking to the camera, taking care of my athletes. It was already pretty hard for me to juggle my coaching job at the German Open, simply due to having athletes in opposing flights. So when one athlete was competing, the other one was warming up for her next attempt. So I had to run back and forth between the stage and the warm-up area. So that's been obviously the most stressful thing for me on that first day, and therefore I just tried to record the attempts with my phone, which I'm gonna throw in here. One thing I learned this weekend, or a thing that I remembered, is that peaking isn't magic. And here is the truth. Fatigue management only works if you understand individual responses, okay? What I'm trying to say with that is everyone is dealing with some external factors, right? Stress, sleep, and so on. Now, these things need to be accounted for, especially throughout competition prep. Now, I had some athletes that were used to train very early in the morning. Others are used to train very late at the night or very late in the evening. And for them, it was a huge change to train early or to compete early in the morning whenever they trained later the day, even though we tried to implement earlier training times for the last 2 weeks, but that was not sufficient. The athletes who competed earlier in the morning definitely had some issues with really bringing their full potential onto the platform because they were still tired, and others who trained very early in the morning and had to compete later the day had some issues as well, simply because they got tired. For them it was already mostly time to get to bed again, and therefore that's definitely something I need to be more careful of as a coach, and giving my athletes more instructions and help them to really perform better on the platform. Another thing I learned for me as a coach is that I need to pace my athletes a little bit better, especially for that first lift, which is the muscle up. They tend to be eager to get started, and they always want to already get started as soon as possible, and that is not the best thing, because if you think about your own training, it probably doesn't take too long to warm up for your muscle ups, right? For most people, it's 1 to 2 sets prior of pull-ups, high pull-ups, maybe a bodyweight muscle up before we attempt our working sets. My athletes usually do about 2 to 4 warm-up sets for their muscle ups, and then you don't need to have too much time beforehand, right? The worst thing that can happen is that you're getting cold and the first attempt on the platform feels super heavy because the time between the last warm-up attempt and your first warm-up attempt on the platform are so far away, and you are already kind of detrained again and the weight feels super heavy, and that usually is not the best way to start into a competition. So that's definitely on me, and that's definitely something I need to work on. So yeah, we need to take into account that the competition is running late, that there are other several factors that might interfere with the schedule, so you can't let anticipation override the timing. And as I said, that's definitely on me, and definitely something that I need to work on so my athletes have an even better performance on the platform. The competition definitely was a success, especially if we're looking at individual lifts and the total acquired from my athletes. all of them were able to put on at least 10 to 15 kg on their previous total. Some of them even competed late 2024, so there was not too much time between that last meet and now the German Open, and therefore I'm even happier that we were able to put so much onto the totals. Now, my favorite lifts of the weekend were definitely the 145 kg dip from Misha, with whom he was able to exceed the German record and set a new German record with 145 kg in the minus 80 kg category. Then my second favorite lift of that weekend was definitely the 36.25 kg for Jules in the chin-up, and she also set a German record in the minus 52 kg category. And then Nadine was able to finally get her 20 kg muscle up onto the platform after 2 years of struggling to really hit that top end intensity, and this time around we were able to get it done with a little bit of room, so that is very promising for the next couple of months, and obviously Worlds in autumn, so we're definitely aiming for something bigger then. And obviously also one of my favorite lifts of the weekend was Luca's 117.5 kg dip. It was his third dip attempt that we secured with a valid lift, so that was kind of like an issue he was dealing with the last couple of years, that he always failed his third attempt, and this time around we made sure that this is definitely not happening again, and we really ensured that he is bringing his best performance onto the platform, and we definitely achieved that. And yeah, in Misha's case, there was an unfortunate placement. So we were shooting for the first place with his last squat attempt. So we loaded up 230 kg, which was above 10 kg above his second attempt. Now, if he would have made it, he would have secured the first place. With a little bit less, we would have secured the second place. But as we failed that 230 kg squat, we ended up on third place, and definitely also something on me, even though Misha chose to load a 230 kg. There is always kind of a risk and reward situation that you have in such a case, and yeah, adrenaline, the readiness, and so on. They can have a toll on it, but for some people this is exactly what they need and they perform really well. In Misha's case, it was just a little bit too less of power that we had on that given day, but taking into account how the prep went, I'm super happy with his comeback. There is definitely room for more, and a 500 kg total should be incoming very, very soon if he continues, obviously, right? At least one of my athletes was able to qualify for the Worlds this year. Now we will see how the rest of the competitions go and if there are other athletes sneaking into the rankings. But yeah, that's something we have to see. As of now, things are looking pretty good. Definitely stoked for Final Rep Worlds. Yeah, just a massive shout out to Final Rep for organizing such a nice event. Each year the quality is improving, it's getting more professional, and without those guys, all of the athletes wouldn't have a stage where they could compete on, where they could share their progress, and yeah, without them the sport wouldn't be there where it is today. So massive shout out and so much love for you guys. I know what it takes and how much work you are putting in, so please keep going, please keep growing the sport, because without you guys we wouldn't be here where we are today and the sport wouldn't be there. So again, thank you so much and keep going. And we, as King of Weighted, we've been there as sponsor, coaches, and we're supporting the sport from the early days on. And the sport is growing slowly but steadily in the right direction. And if you want to evolve as a coach, athlete, and raise the standard also as companies, and you're very serious about this sport, then really start acting like it and try to involve yourself into the sport and think beyond the platform, right? So, because all what we're doing outside of the sport, on social media, in our training, and so on, this is the work that no one sees and really drives the sport forward. So, keep doing what you're doing, guys. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that right now. Share, like, and don't forget to turn the notifications on so you don't miss out on any new videos. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching and you want to perform at your best the next time you're stepping onto the platform, then head to kingofweighted.com, book your free consulting call. If you don't want to look into one-on-one coaching, we also provide mentoring and training programs. Head by and don't wait any longer because your future total depends on it.